Hi, everybody. I'm Pastor Vicky, and today's devotion comes from Matthew chapter 25, verses 31 to 40. And this is the parable of the sheep and the goats. When the Son of Man comes in his glory and all the angels with him, he will sit on his glorious throne. All the nations will be gathered before him, and he will separate the people one from another, as a shepherd separates the sheep from the goats. He will put the sheep on his right and the goats on his left. Then the king will say to those on his right, "Come, you who are blessed by my Father, take your inheritance, the kingdom prepared for you since the creation of the world. For I was hungry, and you gave me something to eat. I was thirsty, and you gave me something to drink. I was a stranger, and you invited me in. I needed clothes, and you clothed me. I was sick, and you looked after me. I was in prison, and you came to visit me." Then the righteous will answer him, "Lord, when did we see you hungry and feed you, or thirsty and give you something to drink? When did we see you a stranger and invite you in, or needing clothing and clothe you? When did we see you sick or in prison and go to visit you?" And the king will reply, "Truly I tell you, whatever you did for one of the least of my brothers and sisters, you did for me." I chose this passage because this is our calling as Christians, is to care for the vulnerable, to care for those who are in need. And many of our own family members at Zion right now are the vulnerable. And the way we're caring for you is by having an empty building and by keeping away and showing you love by not exposing you unnecessarily to anything. But another way we're being called to serve is by helping our friends who are experiencing homelessness. So Zion has been invited to invite 30 gentlemen who are healthy to sleep in the basement of our church for the next 2 weeks. And we're going to be doing that because that's what it means to love the least of my brothers and sisters. And we're going to care for these people in a big, loving way as Jesus would do. And we're going to be very safe in doing that. We're going to be safe and follow all the protocols that we've been instructed to use by the Delana Center as well as the University of Michigan Health System. We have people on our team who will be teaching us and training us, and Delanis will be providing assistance to us in that regard as well. And I just want to applaud and commend our church family. Today I put out a plea for 20 tents. These folks, once they get done staying at Zion for a couple weeks, they are going to have to live on the street. And I can't believe how many of you stepped up and wanted to immediately, whatever it was, help out, whether it was a tent or a sleeping bag or a tarp or whatever it was to help our brothers and sisters. And I am grateful that you get it. I'm grateful that you understand what it means to help those who have less than us. We're privileged. Any way you slice it, if you get to go home and you get to be in the safety of these four walls and you have a meal on your table, you're privileged. And for you to recognize that other people don't have that privilege is really a gift. And that's what God is calling us to use, is that gift right now, to bless those who have less. So for some of us, we are quarantined. We can't leave. We don't have a way to help, but you can pray. And I'm going to invite you to pray for those who have to go home to homes that aren't safe. We have lots of people who go to their homes and they're full of violence. Or they go to their homes and there's no food or electricity. And going home actually doesn't bring any comfort. But there's lots of people who right now are being forced by this executive order to go to their unsafest place. But we as Christians, we as the body of Christ, we can pray. We can pray for their protection. We can pray that things get resolved. We can pray for change. We can pray for the presence of God to be felt in ways that it's never been felt before. So this week I had asked you in my sermon to look for how God is active in your life. I hope you've been doing that. I hope you can look around and see the little blessings. I tell my kids, we're making memories, good or bad, they're memories. And these are things we're going to be talking about forever. So my prayer for you is that you're well. My prayer for you is that you do have everything that you need, and that you stay safe, and that you make beautiful memories with your families. But if you're one of the vulnerable, or you're one who's not in a safe situation, you're one who's in need, please call Pastor Jim or myself. Our phone numbers are on the website. You can also reach out via email, via our Facebook page if you're watching this. And we're going to be making calls to every person on our roll to make sure that you're doing okay. Because we want you to know that you are loved and we are part of your Zion family. We're all part of the body of Christ. And together we are better as the church. So God bless you. May you find peace this week in all that you do. See ya.